don't know why they're asking me about an account creation. CNN. What is CNN talking about? Where's my thing at? Okay, let me pull this up here. Alrighty. All right, Mr. Drake. This one's a little bit shorter than the other one, so it says, in reply, Aubrey Drake Graham, petitioner, requesting depositions of iHeart Media Inc. and UMG Recordings. Aubrey Drake Graham's verified petition for Rule 202 depositions. Petitioner Aubrey Drake Graham requests an order authorized under Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 202 to take pre-suit depositions of the corporate representatives of iHeart Media Inc. See, when I see shit like that, I say, oh, there is a different reason to why you moved to Texas. Because I'm now, when I reread this part that says under Texas Rule of Civil Procedure, I say, oh, there is a different reason why you took your ass to Houston, Texas. Jay Prince told your ass to come on here. There's some things that you need to know, and my lawyers need to tell you. I'm on to you. Representatives of iHeart Media Inc. and UMG Recordings Inc., which includes Interscope Records, a wholly owned division of UMG, for which petitioner respectfully shows as follows: pursuant to Texas, Texas Rule Civil Procedure 194. A petitioner requests that discovery be conducted under a Level 3 discovery control plan. Factual background: respondent UMG is one of a handful of companies that dominate the multi-billion-dollar music industry. When it comes to the release of new music by its most prominent artists, UMG is meticulous in its planning and execution of the music it releases, promotes, and backs with its considerable financial resources. That is true not just because of the amount of money on the line for UMG and its shareholders, but also because UMG's executives are eligible to receive incentive bonuses based on the revenue generated by their respective divisions. So pretty much someone is missing their usual bonus pay that they usually get, and they need to pay a very big bill. I'm starting to wonder who that might be. Earlier this year, one of the artists that UMG has under contract presented UMG with a new song called Not Like Us. Before it approved the release of the song, UMG knew that the song itself, as well as its accompanying album art and music video, attacked the character of another one of UMG's most prominent artists, Drake, by falsely accusing him of being a sex offender, engaging in pedophilic acts, harboring sex offenders, and committing other criminal sexual acts. Specifically, the song calls Drake a certified pedophile, a predator, and someone whose name should be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. I don't think he said anything wrong, allegedly. Pursuant to its right under various contracts, UMG has exclusive control over the licensing of Not Like Us, and could have refused to release or distribute the song, or required the offending material to be edited and removed from the song. Okay, so yeah, I get that, right? But as I said before, because I called that specifically before this lawsuit, I said, I find it very odd that, and see, this is not even me realizing that UMG had already merged with Interscope and bought the label. This is before I even realized that, okay? Before I even had that even in thought, I said to myself, what in the right mind what is going on over there that staff has just, said, all right, we're just going to let this go. Our biggest artist is being called a pedophile. I said that specifically. I said, no one is paying attention to the fact that the biggest artist in music is being called a pedophile, and there's a huge investment being made in the marketing of this record. Like, does anybody find this odd at all? Like, this is definitely someone paying for this shit to happen. Now, this is not me saying I'm caping for Drake, but like I said, I already knew that this was happening before. I knew that it was invested in for this nigga to fall. So yes, the biggest artist in music is being called a pedophile on an international public fucking scale now, because UMG wants it to happen. Yeah, go ahead, Kendrick, go ahead. Stomp him out. Do me a favor, stomp him out. Squabble up. Pursuant to its right under various contracts, UMG has exclusive control over the licensing of Not Like Us and could have refused to release it or distribute the song, or required the offending material to be edited and removed. But UMG chose to do the opposite. UMG designed, financed, and then executed a plan to turn Not Like Us into a viral mega hit, with the intent of using the spectacle of harm to Drake and his business to drive consumer hysteria and, of course, massive revenue. So basically what you're saying is you are upset because Kendrick's record actually worked and succeeded in devaluing your career. That is basically what I am hearing through reading this. You pretty much are crying bitch and being Karen because this nigga succeeded in fucking up your career. That's literally what I'm hearing right now. But as I said before, I know better. I already know that it is very much invested in your downfall, nigga. So I get it. You feel some type of way that you know this. Let's call it a spade a spade. You feel some type of way because you know this shit is the real deal behind the scenes. And the fucked up part is, this is why I keep saying cry wolf. Because nigga, nobody believes there's a real wolf. Nobody believes you. Even though it's a real wolf. Nobody's fucking believing you. And guess what? Guess what happens in the cry wolf story, sir? Eventually the goddamn wolf eats. If you get my drift. You going up against the wolf. You going up against the wolf in this lawsuit. I'll just say that. That plan succeeded, likely beyond UMG's wildest expectations. UMG released the song Not Like Us on May 4th, 2024, and its music video on July 4th. Oh, that's very meticulous. I didn't even realize they did that. I didn't realize they purposely put it out the week of Cinco de Mayo on purpose. But that 5-4-24, and then you also use 7-4-24, like, definitely planned. Just the numerology wise, you definitely planned this one. You definitely planned that one. So UMG relied on its exclusive licensing rights and, in coordination with known and unknown third parties, utilized every tool in its arsenal to spread Not Like Us. See, this is where I kind of disagree. Because at the end of the day, just because a record is spread around doesn't mean it's going to just catch fire the way it does. It has to actually resonate with the people and relate to the people. That's the part that is very misleading in this particular verbiage of the case, because Not Like Us was a cultural phenomenon because of what it actually represents. It has nothing to do necessarily with Drake as far as the representation of the meaning of that record, Not Like Us. That Not Like Us record is representing the celebration of melanin. Let me help you understand. It is the celebration of melanin, okay? That's why it is Not Like Us, all right? Not necessarily because we're calling you a pedophile. Yes, we are calling you a pedophile, but you're not like us. But there's other reasons why, nigga, you're not like us. Okay? There's other reasons why, besides the pedophile, why you're not like us. UMG made Not Like Us available for radio play, including... Gotta drink something. Excuse me. Including to iHeart Media, a mass media corporation headquartered in San Antonio, Texas. The iHeart Media boasts that it is the #1 audio media company in the U.S. based on consumer reach. iHeart Media let me just move it down a little bit more because it's going to be. iHeartMedia claims that it reaches 9 out of 10 Americans every month and has more reach than any other media company in the U.S. iHeartMedia owns iHeartRadio, a freemium broadcast. That's crazy they even made a word. A freemium broadcast, podcast, radio streaming, and music streaming platform. Radio stations all over the country, including stations owned by iHeartMedia, have played Not Like Us. So what do you want them to do? Not play the fucking record? I mean, let's be honest, Drake. You want them to just not play the record? See, I don't think Drake realizes the biggest part of this is the fact that people like the record. See, in order for a record to be a hit, people have to like it. So even if you pay the money to spread the record, people have to like it. If they don't like it, who give a fuck what you spread? They don't like it. That's it. You see how much money they put into what's the damn line now? You think you did shit? You're not even the fart. You see how much money they put into that bullshit? You see where it went? So it don't matter about how much money you put into something. It's if the world actually take a gravitation to it. If it don't matter if you know, if the record is bullshit, the record is bullshit. It just so happens this record had a lot of truth to it. He's falling. I mean, he's having, you know, he's pretty much going, like I said, going rogue with even crying about this, in my opinion. He's going completely rogue with this one. That's the best way I can say it. UMG and iHeartMedia have a long-standing symbiotic business relationship whereby iHeartMedia pays UMG to license and collect royalties for UMG artists' songs over radio airplay and streaming services. See, this is where, like I said, the whistleblowing shit. UMG and iHeartMedia have a long-standing symbiotic business relationship where iHeartMedia pays UMG to license and collect royalties for UMG artists. So pretty much iHeartMedia stands as a mechanical royalty collector and a TuneCore, in a sense, for UMG. What are y'all doing over there? Y'all not slick with that. So that means to tell me that iHeartMedia is paying UMG to license and collect the royalties, but UMG is barely paying any royalties that they've already licensed and collected off of. They're just collecting. Okay, so if they're outsourcing to get the distribution done and the royalties allocated to the right places, this is what I'm saying, like the whole whistleblowing thing. Now you, of course, let the back door open. Now you done completely left the back door open on this one, and the wind is going to blow. The wind is going to blow. As demonstrated by iHeartMedia's bankruptcy filing in 2018, the amount of money exchanged between iHeartMedia and UMG is substantial. In the last quarter of 2023, UMG, through its recorded music and music publishing divisions, had an ownership interest in more than 60% of the 100 songs listed on the Billboard Hot 100. They own the whole Billboard, pretty much 60% of that shit. They own 3/4 of it. Without its business deals with UMG, iHeartMedia would lose access to a majority of its top radio hits, which is very true. Very true. So on the first week of its release, Not Like Us ranked first on Billboard's Hot 100 with 5 million radio airplay audience impressions. In the week that Not Like Us music video was released, Not Like Us played on the radio an additional 40 million times. 4 months later, the iHeartRadio leaderboard reported that Not Like Us was among the top 2 songs with the most plays on iHeart radio stations, and explained in a newsletter that it had been It had been heard more than 25 million times across iHeart Radio's platform alone. So this is where the verbiage is very similar to the last lawsuit, of course, where this is in the form of the defamation proof. As of the date of this filing, the iHeart Radio leaderboard still reports Not Like Us as among the most widely played songs on iHeart radio stations. Billboard reported that as of October 7, 2024, Not Like Us reached 45.4 million in total audience impressions. Just the impressions, okay? On radio, with 15 non-consecutive weeks in charge of the R&B and hip-hop airplay list. So Drake is not happy with the fact that Kendrick has completely taken over what he usually is to take over it with. Someone that was just a hit away from Michael Jackson is no longer that hit away from Michael Jackson. Well, actually, I think he did with For All the Dogs. He passed Michael Jackson. Anyway, radio was only one of the mediums on which UMG relied to spread Not Like Us. Within a week of its initial release, Not Like Us broke the record for the most streamed song in a 7-day period with 96 million streams. On October 7, 2024, Not Like Us broke the record for the most weeks, 21, at number one Billboard's Hot Rap Songs based on streaming sales and radio airplay. Since its initial release, Not Like Us has been seen and heard billions of times. The record-shattering spread of Not Like Us on the streaming sales and radio airplay was deliberate and appears to have relied upon irregular and inappropriate business practices. Now, the crazy thing is all you did was just dress it up and make Not Like Us pretty much the record of the year with that type of speech right there. Just saying right there. So according to one inside source known to petitioner, UMG made covert payments to a number of platforms, including radio stations, to play and promote Not Like Us without disclosing those payments to listeners. This practice, known as payola, is prohibited by the Communications Act of 1934 and has been the subject of regulatory scrutiny. In 2006, UMG agreed to pay $12 million in a settlement with the New York Attorney General following an investigation involving accusations that UMG executives had used a broad array of pay-for-play tactics to secure radio airplay for music. See, the problem I have with this the most is, like they just said, nigga, you weren't mad when they did this for you. When nobody else can get on the radio like that, and it was just Drake, all fucking day, all day long. When it was just you on the radio, you had no complaints, my nigga. Because the same payola fucking system was used to boost your goddamn career. Same thing. Well, yeah, exactly. 2009, really. 2009 is when we first got Drake. And even with that, Thank Me Later, like I said before, if Thank Me Later did not sell, music was done. Period. He was set to be the biggest artist in music because he saved it. He saved it. Like it or not, it was invested in, of course, but he saved it. What was it? 470 or something like that, or between 470 and 490K first week. Thank Me Later. Like, Thank Me Later was pretty much, like I said, if it was not for that album, we wouldn't continue to even have this conversation right now. But then when you got too big for your bridges is when things got a little bit more tricky for you. Because now, as I'm listening to it, it's like you guys don't pay attention to your contracts. You guys don't pay attention to your contracts. Second of all, how could you not realize that it's not just, and I feel like they're laughing at this one. I feel like the higher ups are just laughing at this one with their, their arm on the chair, just resting, laughing at this one. So it's like I said before, you're suing, number one, your own label, let alone the label that you're trying to put out a collab album with on someone. Then you're trying to also just stay afloat financially yourself, sir. This is what I mean by you are not reading the room. You're not reading the room. You're supposed to just go away for a while. When you're doing shit like this, you're supposed to just go away for a while. I shouldn't even been to hear about this lawsuit so quickly. This defamation one anyway. He made rap pop again. Pretty much. Absolutely. I agree with that one, actually. That he made it. But the payola thing, right? The whole payola thing. Why weren't you saying anything when it was literally being done for you to get the payola and have certain artists pulled and whatnot? That was all you. So, separately in 2005, UMG was sued by 2 radio promotion companies alleging fraudulent pay-to-play practices. Petitioner has learned of at least one UMG employee making payments to an independent radio promoter who had agreed to transfer those payments to certain radio stations and or radio station employees. These radio stations subsequently played Not Like Us, and to petitioner knowledge did so without disclosing to their listeners that they had been paid by UMG. To something to do so, I guess pay to do so. Petitioner has been unable to confirm whether any iHeart radio stations were among the stations paid as part of UMG's pay-to-play scheme, or whatever. Let's see, or whether there were any direct payments from UMG to iHeartRadio. Let's see. Okay, where we at? Because I was trying to read over something too. Okay, so petitioner has learned of at least one UMG employee making payments to an independent radio promoter who had agreed to transfer those payments to certain radio stations and or radio station employees. Those radio stations subsequently played Not Like Us, and to petitioner's knowledge did so without disclosing to their listeners that they had been paid by UMG to do so. Petitioner has been unable to confirm whether any iHeart radio stations were among the stations paid as part of UMG's pay-to-play scheme, or whether there were any direct payments from UMG to iHeart Radio to promote Not Like Us, given iHeart Media's statute as the number one audio company in the country. Petitioner believes that UMG engaged in similar tactics to drive radio play of Not Like Us on iHeart Media stations. UMG also directed its digital marketing team to use discretionary funds provided or reimbursed by UMG to pay unknown third parties to share the Not Like Us video in the days after they were released. The purpose of UMG's payments to third parties was to inflate artificially the metrics reported relating to Not Like Us, to encourage media and music critic commentary, and ultimately to make it go viral. One whistleblower whose identity is unknown revealed publicly that someone from management paid him thousands of dollars on May 6, 2024 to use bots to achieve 30 million streams of Not Like Us on Spotify in the days immediately after its release, to turn Not Like Us into a crazy hit. Bots appear to be real social media accounts, but are, in fact, let's see right here. Okay, so bots appear to be real social media accounts, but are in fact software programs designed to mimic human behavior. Petitioner has received information that UMG also pays certain third-party influencers to promote Not Like Us in order to create incentives for high visibility influencers to spread Not Like Us in what happens. Do more radical departure from long-standing. Wants to play a UMG. Okay, remove my copyright restriction. All right, so petitioners received information that UMG also paid. Okay, I remember that part right there. So Not Like Us and what appears to be a radical departure from long-standing internal policy at UMG. UMG removed copyright restrictions on Not Like Us on YouTube, Twitch, thereby dog whistling the song. Petitioner brings this action for a discrete and specific purpose to understand whether and how UMG funneled payments to iHeart Radio and its radio stations as part of yet pay-to-play scheme. Petitioner has amassed influence. Okay, so petitioner brings this action for a discrete and specific purpose to understand. Okay, to understand whether and how UMG funneled payments to iHeartRadio and its radio stations. Okay, so UMG including but not limited to a clam. Admitted the claim for the defamation, but currently lacks. Okay. Got to educate yourself with the pause sometimes. Okay, so including but not limited to a claim for defamation, but currently lacks factual support necessary to determine whether he may bring claims of civil fraud and racketeering against UMG and its many as of yet unidentified co-conspirators. Okay, so Drake is an individual. Let's see, parties and opponents. Okay, so this is pretty much just the. I was trying to just read that little part there. I was like, are they actually going to get into something else, or are they just going to repeat it? Okay, so they're pretty much going to repeat what was going on there. So we're at the end of it. They pretty much were just I think it's in jurisdiction venue. Pretty much just talking about again what this lawsuit is about, which is pretty much the defamation part, and them trying to do examples of. Okay, so again, this is hurting Drake more than it is hurting anybody else. This is hurting his credibility beyond great measures, and I don't think he realizes that. I remember when iHeartRadio came out and I heard the Clear One radio stations and the biggest pop songs, rap songs, R&B songs were played in exact same rotation every hour on the hour. I remember it was golden days too. I remember when it wasn't so much pay to play and the golden days were on and you literally were discovering new artists that you just never heard before. Remember the days of Soulja Boy literally hiding his song in a download for 50 Cent? It was a 50 Cent download, and he chose to hold the equipment for it, and I'm like, okay. Force feeding the same shit over and over in our heads. Yes, absolutely. And I'm not here for that part. I was going to say, okay, they're repeating themselves again. All right, I'm good. We're going to get on to the next thing with that. So, again, Wayne needs to tread lightly. He needs to tread lightly. Yeah, you a sleeping giant, but there's one already walking around this bitch, and he got heavy feet. He got some heavy feet. With a short complex too, with a Napoleon complex. So definitely watch out. Napoleon complex, Gemini, watch out.